everyone. Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. Today we are going to make buttermilk bread. Buttermilk bread is excellent. It has a wonderful flavor and a really soft texture. Part of that is because you use buttermilk, and part of that is because you add a little bit of baking soda to your dough. It comes out beautifully and it's actually really easy to make. So before we get started, you're definitely going to need buttermilk, okay? I have buttermilk here. If you don't have buttermilk, you can just take regular milk and add about a tablespoon of vinegar to it. I prefer to use buttermilk. You don't have any, you can make it with milk and vinegar. So let's get started. I'm going to use my bread maker today because I did French bread yesterday, which is no bread maker. You can't use a bread maker for that. And it was kind of annoying. So today I'm just going to use my bread maker to mix the dough. And then later I will show you how to shape the dough. So our basic buttermilk bread recipe. You want a cup of buttermilk. Or like I said earlier, there we go. Buttermilk is quite a bit thicker than regular milk. So that's why you would add vinegar to regular milk to kind of mimic that texture, to kind of thicken it up. So you want 1 cup of buttermilk. You want 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, I'm using Himalayan salt. You don't have to. You want 1 tablespoon of sugar. You can substitute honey if you like. You want 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder. You want baking soda. Okay, it's really important that's baking soda. Baking powder will not give you the same texture. You also want 1/4 cup of butter. Okay, just pop it in there. Then you're going to want 3 cups of flour. Let's see if we can do this without spilling today. Probably not. And I spilled. Of course I did. That's okay. We just pick it up. We just pick it up. So I use a mat. Pick it up, put it back in. Then finally, because I'm using a bread maker, I'm using quick rise or bread machine yeast, and you want a nice heaping teaspoon, apologies, teaspoon. You could do a tablespoon. Your rise might get out of control, but you could. So once you have all of your ingredients in here, you're just going to pop that in the bread maker according to your directions. Select the dough setting, and then come back. For me, it's going to be about 1.5 hours. That's the dog wanting to come in the house. So I will end the video for now, and we'll come back to look at the dough, and I will let the dog into the house. All right, so our buttermilk bread dough is done. I'm just going to roll it around some of this excess flour here, just make my life easier. And now we're just going to shape it into a loaf. Instead of using a bread pan, we're going to shape it into an oblong loaf. So we're just going to press a little bit because you want to get the air bubbles out because it is going to rise. And then we're just going to kind of fold it together. Crimp our edges, tuck them under, and give it a roll. Try and make sure it's even, so you don't want this end really thin and this end really thick. And when we're pretty happy with it, we're just going to pop this on a non-stick. This is a copper pan liner. And then we're going to pop that whole thing on this cutting board here just so I can move it around easier. This is because I'm actually using my normal cookie sheet for something else right now. So, just like that, it only takes a couple of minutes. We're going to pop that in the microwave, not to turn on the microwave, just to rise. If you don't want to rise it in your microwave, a damp tea towel over top will work wonders. Place it somewhere warm for about 1 hour, and it should double in size. We'll come back and check on it in about 1 hour. All right, our bread has risen nicely. We have preheated our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to bake this for 25 to 30 minutes. This is our buttermilk bread, of course, looking good. We are going to slash it 3 times with our bread lame. And it's, oh, you know what, don't go too deep. It's important you don't go too deep, but you still want to get some slashes in there. And then that is going to go straight in the oven. I am not coating it with milk or egg or anything because I'm going to brush it with melted butter when it comes out of the oven. So we'll see you in about half an hour when the bread is fully baked. All right, so this is our buttermilk bread fresh from the oven. It's actually really hot, so every time I touch it, my hands burn a little bit. But that's what it looks like when it's all done. Ow. Hope you enjoyed this particular video, and I hope you like making your own buttermilk bread. Until next time, bye-bye.